And welcome to XPNSion Network. One more Friday. This is our Friday live stream here in the US. As you know, I'm known as the CEO confidant, and in Latin America as the founder, co-founder, and president of the Wisdom for Kids Foundation. And obviously, we have Christina von Dreien and Nicola with us in Europe. And
Oh, jetzt bist du irgendwo draufgekommen.
Oh nein.
Ich sehe es nicht.
Also da oben steht immer noch Aufzeichnung läuft.
Ja, aber schau mal das Bild. Ich höre ja nicht mehr.
Ja, aber das kann ja nicht. Bin ich das gewesen?
Ja, bist irgendwo draufgekommen.
Habe ich ihn rausgeworfen? Das kann ich doch gerne nicht.
Ich sehe ihn nicht.
Ich auch nicht.
Ein
Oder sind wir
Teilnehmer.
rausgekommen?
Ein Teilnehmer.
Oh.
so we know that sometimes those things happen, but
Okay. Here we are again.
Exactly. So Nicola, Christina, and myself, we know that these things sometimes happen. So we just go with the flow. And when I was just saying, actually, obviously, I was saying that, you know, Christina and Nicola are with us again today. Welcome to XPNSion Network. How are you today?
Christina, how are you today? Wie geht es dir heute?
Naja.
Anyway, we have been looking forward to seeing you and
Thank
talking
you, likewise.
to you. And thanks for having us again. And thanks everybody for watching and being here with us.
Exactly. Thank you. And obviously our audience every single week, it increases and increases and increases. We have more people following us and more people talking with us. We appreciate everybody who is already online with us and, you know, making comments already. So, every single week, you know, the world keeps on, you know, moving and things keep on progressing. And, you know, this week I've been in touch with a lot of people that are, you know, are under a lot of pressure, some anxiety, you know, people that cannot travel the world freely because they cannot see the relatives. And some people have started to lose their jobs because of restrictions, as you know what I'm talking about. So let's say that there's a lot of pressure right now in this, you know, physical world that we are, you know, used to be living in. That's why I wanted to start today the conversation with Christina, and obviously with the help of Nicola with the translation as every single week. You know, this suffering and this pressure that we're feeling here in this 3D physical world, what is happening at other levels? What is happening at different and higher levels of frequency that you know of, that you see, Christina?
Angel möchte gerne wissen, sagt, das ist der Druck und das Leiden nehmen zu auf der 3D-Ebene und was geschieht auf anderen Ebenen, was du wahrnehmen kannst.
Also da gibt es verschiedene Ebenen.
There's different levels, different dimensions.
Also da passieren auch verschiedene Dinge.
And there's different things happening.
Es gibt eine Ebene, auf der ist schon alles gut.
And there is one dimension, one level where everything is good already.
Dort, also das ganze Chaos und den Druck, den wir jetzt hier auf der Erde haben, der kommt ja davon, dass das Unlicht ihre Pläne halt durchziehen wollen.
And the whole chaos and pressure that we have now in the present moment is because the unlight wants to realize their plans.
Auf einer feinstofflichen Ebene.
Wants to on a subtle level. Sorry.
Ist aber alles schon gelöst. Also das.
Yes, but Christina says the unlight wants to do whatever they have planned here, but on a subtle level, on that subtle level you're talking about, everything is solved already.
Und darum ist dort auch alles gut. Und dieses Feinstoffliche, das wird sich ja auch hier in unserer Dimension manifestieren.
And that's why on that level everything is okay already, and that this reality will realize on our level sooner or later too.
Aber weil das ja noch feinstofflich ist, muss das das muss sich wie runter verdichten und das braucht halt seine Zeit.
And because it is only in the subtle levels now, it has to densify until it arrives here, and it takes a bit of time.
Und das Unlicht, das merkt auf gewissen Ebenen merkt es das auch, dass sie nicht mehr alle Zeit der Welt haben und darum probieren sie halt auch so schnell gerade alles umzusetzen. Und für uns Menschen, die auf diesem Planeten hier leben, bedeutet das halt, dass wir das auch aushalten müssen, was die hier gerade so veranstalten.
So, and on a certain level, the unlight forces know and realize that it's a run against the time as well, and that's why they're accelerating everything at the moment so much, and we have to sort of cope with that for a certain time being.
Obviously, we being in this dimension, not everybody is able to realize that things are different at another dimension. Is there anything that we can do at this 3D, physical reality that we live? Is there anything that we all can do to accelerate?
Es können ja nicht alle Menschen wahrnehmen, dass es einen Unterschied gibt zwischen dem, was wir jetzt hier im 3D erleben und in feinstofflicheren Ebenen. Und Angel möchte wissen, ob es irgendetwas gibt, was wir jetzt in dieser Ebene alle zusammen tun können.
Für was?
Um die Dinge zum Guten zu beschleunigen.
Also, wir können da schon was tun, weil
Yes, we can do something.
Weil der Zeitpunkt, wann das Gute sich vom Feinstofflichen bei uns physisch manifestiert.
Because the time, the time when the good will manifest here, down from the subtle levels.
Dieser Zeitpunkt, den können wir Menschen ja mitbestimmen. Also das heißt, je mehr wir aufwachen und uns auch bewusst sind, was gerade hier auf der Erde passiert, und dass wir dann auch für uns sagen, was wir wollen und was wir auch nicht wollen.
So we as a humanity can accelerate that process as well when if we wake up to the things that are actually really happening here. And what was the last thing you were saying? When then we realize what we want to manifest.
Ja,
here?
also dass wir dadurch, dass wir herausfinden, was hier auf der Erde passiert, an nicht Gutem, dann können wir sagen, wir wollen das nicht.
So at the moment, in the moment we find out what really happens here, the bad things that are really happening behind the scenes. In that moment, we can go ahead and say what we want, what we really want, how we want to have it in the future.
Weil wenn wir nicht sagen, was wir wollen und was wir nicht wollen, dann können ja unsere geistigen Helfer und die anderen lichten Kräfte, die können uns dann so weniger helfen.
If we're not able to name what we don't want and what we want, if we are not able to do that, our team, our spiritual team, and our helpers in the subtle levels are not able to help us unless we're doing that.
Und irgendwas war noch. Ja, so das Wichtigste ist, dass wir wirklich aufwachen, und das erhöht ja unsere Schwingung und unser Bewusstsein. Und also nur unser Bewusstsein ist ja das, was uns schlussendlich von den Dingen befreit, die hier auf der Erde sind, die wir nicht wollen. Und dann das ermöglicht, was wir eigentlich wollen an Gutem hier.
Well, actually, the only thing we can do is waking up, and that process makes our vibration raise, and it's only a higher vibration in our consciousness that makes things happen for the positive here.
Wir haben schon Hilfe, aber es braucht ja auch uns dazu.
We do have help, but it also needs us for it.
Und wenn wir das ganze Chaos, was hier auf der Erde gerade ist, wenn wir also auch die Pläne, die dahinter stehen, vom Unlicht, wenn wir die nicht möchten, dann müssen wir uns auch dagegen entscheiden.
And if we don't want the things that are happening here and the plans that the unlight wants to realize here, we have to decide against it.
Und dass wir uns dann gleichzeitig für das entscheiden, was wir hier auf der Erde wirklich sehen möchten.
And at the same time decide for what we really want to see here on Earth.
Und wenn wir es gerade schwierig finden hier auf der Erde, weil viele Menschen eben diesen ganzen Druck auch aushalten müssen.
And if we find it really difficult here on Earth at the moment, because so many people have to cope with so much pressure at the moment,
dann kann man sich einfach vorstellen, dass auch wenn es gerade schlimm ist und wir ja auch nicht wissen, was vielleicht auch noch kommt und wie lang das Ganze geht.
And then you can start imagining, even if you don't know how long this might take and how bad it's gonna be.
Dass das, was hier gerade auf der Erde passiert, dass das nicht passiert, weil die Welt untergeht oder weil die Unlichten ihre Pläne bis am Schluss durchziehen können und damit durchkommen.
So it's about realizing that the things that are the bad things that are happening here, they're not because sort of the world, there's an going to be an apocalypse of the world, or because they're gonna realize everything to the end, everything they have planned. So to realize this is not because of that.
Sondern man kann es wie eine Reinigung ansehen.
But you can look at it as a cleansing.
Und weil die Dinge, die weggereinigt werden müssen,
And because those things that are being cleansed away, as she says,
weil die nicht freiwillig gehen wollen, also das Unlicht,
the unlight, because they don't go by free will.
darum sträuben die sich und richten halt ganz viel Chaos an und das sehen wir gerade.
And that's why they're resisting, and in that process there's a lot of chaos being caused, and that's what we see at the moment.
Und schlussendlich ist es trotzdem eine Reinigung, aber es ist halt für viele Menschen auch gerade ziemlich unangenehm, weil das halt von den Strukturen, die hier nicht freiwillig gehen, halt auch komplizierter gemacht wird.
Yes, and for many people, this process is very difficult to put up with because Dion Light is making things really complicated at the moment.
So for the ones that have joined us a little bit late today, just to let you know that the most important message that we're sending across today is that the light has already won. Okay, we don't see it. We see a lot of suffering. We see a lot of anxiety, but the light has already won. And as Christina says in her books, at the end, everything will be all right. At the end, everything will be all right. That's I'm having chills as I'm saying it. It's difficult for us being in a third dimension and with the physical world sometimes to cope with everything that's going around us, with people losing their jobs, with restrictions in the movement, in moving around the world and all these kind of things. But as you said very well, this is a cleansing process and we have to go through it. We have spoken in previous weeks about what we can do all together and the power of all gathering together. And obviously these live streams are really important for bringing everybody together.
Und in den vergangenen Wochen haben wir ja viel darüber gesprochen und auch wie wichtig es ist, wirklich zusammenzukommen, und auch diese Livestreams bringen uns ja alle auch wirklich zusammen.
Exactly. So
wie wir zusammen entwickeln.
Exactly. So what would you say that, when we all gather here, when we are all together, what is that power that we have as a group that can help us cleanse maybe faster?
Was würdest du sagen, was bewirkt das, wenn wir hier so zusammenkommen als Gruppe, und was bewirkt das, und kann das helfen, dass diese Reinigung ein bisschen schneller geschieht?
Ja, also immer wenn sich mehrere Menschen in irgendeiner Art und Weise treffen.
Yes, always if some people are meeting in some or the other way.
Und alle, die dann dabei sind.
And all participants.
Also alle, die dann da dabei sind und dann eine gemeinsame Ausrichtung haben, also die dann mit ihrem Bewusstsein auf das Gleiche ausgerichtet sind.
And everybody that is participating in that meeting has his consciousness with his consciousness aiming in the same direction.
Dann wird das natürlich gebündelt und auf das, was man sich dann mit dem Bewusstsein konzentriert, das wird dann auch verstärkt.
And that power is then concentrated, and things are going to be more powerful, much more powerful.
Aber dafür muss halt möglichst viele und am besten alle, die sich treffen, mit der gleichen Ausrichtung da sein und nicht 10 verschiedene, weil dann sind es halt 10 verschiedene.
But for that to happen, so this sort of focusing, everybody who is in that group and is taking part has to be really in the same direction and really aligned with all the others, and not 10 different different things in their minds.
Let me ask you a question out of my ignorance. Okay, so it's going to be a very direct question. So have you ever, when you go to events, when you do webinars, do you ever do like some sort of have you ever done some meditation?
Er möchte wissen, ob du in deinen Veranstaltungen so etwas wie Meditation auch mit einbaust?
Also bei den Live-Veranstaltungen, da hatten wir das eigentlich nie. Aber bei den Love Streams, die wir jetzt haben, da haben wir immer am Ende eine, ja.
Yes, Christina started doing that. So at first, when we had these live events with many people there in a physical way, Christina always said, I'm not the meditation leader, sort of. But now in the love streams, in the webinars, we always in the end, there's a common meditation, and it feels very, very beautiful, doesn't it?
So definitely everybody can go back to the recordings and can actually go through those meditations. And as you said before, align in the right direction. Just to share with the audience, obviously, as you go to the Christina's, YouTube channel, you will see that all her videos, they have tens of thousands of views. So, there's tens of thousands of people literally going over this material and aligning. So I think it's important, even if it's not live as right now when we're recording it, it's very important also that when you're, watching this video recorded already on Christina's YouTube channel or any of the other channels, obviously.
Let me just say that I get many emails from people that said, "Oh, what a pity I couldn't be there live," because then it's in the same time. We're all aligned at the same time, and this field is created at the same time. But people are saying even if they watch the recording, they can still feel that enormous field when they go into that meditation. In the end, they say it's as if it had been live. That's what we get as a reaction very often.
Exactly. So this is exactly where I was going to, which is regardless of when you watch this video, there's always this aura, there's always this vibration of not only us doing it, because at the same time there's hundreds and hundreds of people right now watching us and sending us all their love, all their good vibrations, and all their optimism. And again, our chat is just going wild and wild with lots of different people from many different places in the world. I'm sure that you receive emails from literally any country in the world, any continent in the world, and the same exactly, and it's the same happens to us. So, Christina, we know now that we have already won, right? But at the same time, we want to help everybody else to cleanse, right? We want to help everybody. What is the, let's say, the most peaceful way that we can use as human beings to help the others awake and join us in this cleansing?
Also Angel, für die deutschsprachigen, Angel sagte gerade, wir wissen jetzt, wir haben gewonnen sozusagen, also wir lichtvollen Wesen. Aber was ist das, was wir jetzt jeder als friedlichste Art, als friedlichster Weg, was ist das friedlichste und schönste, was wir tun können, um dieser Reinigung zu helfen und allen zu helfen?
Also jeder Mensch hat ja seine eigenen Aufgaben, warum er hier ist. Und jeder hat so seine Art und Weise, wie er gesagt hat, wie er hier auf der Erde mithelfen möchte, das Bewusstsein zu erhöhen.
So each of us has his own job or duty he came here to fulfill here, helping the whole process.
Und also da muss halt jeder auch bei sich selber spüren, für was er hier ist. Und jeder Mensch hat da auch eine andere Position.
So each of us has to get a feeling for what he really had wanted to come here for, because each of us has different positions here in that whole process.
Und das können ja auch verschiedene Dinge sein. für die wir hierher gekommen
It can
sind.
be, it's not only maybe sometimes one job, it's different things we came here for.
Und was diese Dinge aber gemeinsam haben, ist, dass unser Herz da dabei ist, wenn wir
But
das tun.
what all these things have in common is that it's our heart that has to fill or open for what we're doing.
Someone in the audience, actually, I saw this question also the last Friday. I'm going to ask it today because it's being asked again. So obviously, there might be some of us or some people are going to die and then they will be born again. If someone dies and these people had certain level of, let's say, awareness or awakening, when they are born again, will they have the same level of awareness or they will still have to work on that?
Also eine Frage, die auch das letzte Mal schon gestellt wurde, wenn jemand stirbt und einen gewissen Bewusstseinslevel erreicht hat, in dem Moment, wo er stirbt und dann wiedergeboren wird, kommt er dann mit demselben Bewusstseinslevel oder muss er dann wieder daran arbeiten? Oder wie siehst du das?
Also das kommt auch ein bisschen drauf an, was sich die Seele vornimmt in der Inkarnation, wo sie dann inkarniert.
So it depends a bit on what that specific soul is planning for that incarnation.
Also es gibt solche, die nehmen ihr Bewusstsein mit.
Some souls are coming with their full consciousness.
Und andere, die schlafen, wenn sie inkarnieren, zwar ein, also die wissen dann nicht mehr, dass sie mal aufgewachter waren im letzten Leben.
And others are falling asleep and they forget that they had been much more awake in a previous life.
Aber das ist, wenn sie dann in dem Leben wieder aufwachen, ist das für die nicht gleich kompliziert, wie es manchmal für andere Menschen ist, weil sie haben in ihrem Unterbewusstsein schon diese Information drin, dass sie das schon mal gewusst haben.
But when they start their awakening process in this incarnation, it is not as complicated or difficult as it might be for other souls, because in their unconscious they have this knowledge is still stored about it.
Also egal, was wir an Erfahrungen und Erkenntnissen in früheren Leben aufsammeln.
So no matter what kind of experiences we've had in previous lives,
selbst wenn wir die dann wieder vergessen, wenn wir ein weiteres Mal inkarnieren, sie sind trotzdem in unseren Zellen und in unserem Unterbewusstsein noch vorhanden.
So even if we forget them again, it's still stored in our unconscious and in our cells also.
Excellent. I really wanted to, send this message across that, everything that we do is actually our soul keeps on learning and learning and learning. And something that has me personally kept me really focused throughout these last couple of years is that I see in this physical world, I see a lot of desperation from the people that wants to restrict our lives. And that shows me that they are desperate. That shows me that they must be running out of time,
Also Angel sagte, also einerseits er realisiert einfach immer, wie es einfach immer nur Lernen geht und dass dass hier so viele Wesen sind, die versuchen, dieses Lernen einzudämmen und die merken, dass er auch realisiert, dass die bemerken, dass ihnen die Zeit davonläuft.
Exactly. So thank you very much for being the bearer of the good news today, Christina. I think it's important for
gute Neuigkeiten gebracht.
exactly. I think it's very important for people to know what's going on at different levels, even if not all of us are able to see that. And at the end, we will be all right. That's the most important thing. At the end, we will be all right. So let's focus on what we can do, what we can't control, which is our heart, which is the people around us, and keep moving in the right direction, because we know what the right direction is. Okay. So Christina, as usual, and Nicola, it's been a big pleasure for us here in the US and in the Expansion Network to have you again. Thank you for accepting, obviously, the invite to be in this incredible, Friday love streams. We really appreciate you. Thank you. And thank you, Nicola,
thank you
for obviously always, being translating. And, I think that there's something that both Nicola, and just to tell you some feelings that both Nicola and I feel, is that, we really want to be extremely respectful of Christina, right? And sometimes it's we want to know more and more and more and more, but we have to be extremely respectful of her timing, because we are all in this together. So sometimes my questions are a little bit long, or maybe the responses from Christina are a little bit long. So Nicola, thank you so much for being.
My translation takes a bit long.
Exactly. So thank you for being in the middle. So everybody, again, watching us from so many places in the world, thank you so much. Danke sehr. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for letting this happen, Angel. I think it's so great, because it's a wonderful format, and I think it's beautiful to be the two of you communicating and inviting new people to join the community. Thank you, everybody, to be here with us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody that has been in the chat every single week. Our chat is more and more active every single week, which we appreciate. There's lots of questions, lots of comments. We obviously say thank you to all of them. And as you know, we will be here again. I'm sure you've enjoyed this conversation as much as we have here, and we will be here again next week. You enjoy the rest of the Friday. You have a great, amazing weekend. And by the way, before I go, what's the best way to connect with you and to connect with Christina, Nicola?
It is, as always, just write us an email on No, that's the website.
That's the website.
Just write us an email on events@christinavondreien.ch, and yes, you will be connected via me to Christina.
Exactly. Let me write this down here. Events, christinavondreien.ch. I just wrote it here, so you have all the you have the email there if you want to send some messages. And again, thank you everybody attending. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Nicola, and see you next week. Okay, you have a wonderful rest of the weekend, and wonderful week next week. Okay.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Exactly. See you. Bye bye.